And welcome to another edition of Homefield Advantage, presented by our friends at Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. I'm Elon Olive, joined by Anthony Colasuno. Our good friend Aaron Poling is out of the office right now, but he will be back here pretty soon, but he will miss this edition of Homefield Advantage as Anthony, we got a great show today. We're going to talk a little bit about Lyman track and field. Of course, we'll talk about Rich track and field. But first, we're going to kick it off talking about Evanston Spring Golf and their results that they got over in Riverton. Both teams in their first tournament of the year finishing third place.
Phenomenal. That's always a good sign to see when first tournament of spring golf in a time period where it's kind of like hibernation. You're not able to go on the golf course unless you go all the way basically down to southern Utah to play golf down there, which that's 4 or 5 hours away. It's amazing to see that, because when I don't golf for a while, my swing's out of whack. I have to nail it back in and practice. And to see these kids being able to go out there and get third place in the first spring tournament of the year, that's huge.
And as a matter of fact, the golf course isn't open until Friday.
Yeah.
So this team has not even been on their own course since October when the season wrapped up in the fall. But that third place, I think you got to put an asterisk next to it. And here's why. Riverton and Lander were first and second, respectively. Both of them played graduating seniors that will not be a part of their teams in the coming fall golf season. So that is something to definitely kind of keep your eye on.
Yeah, and that's going, it's weird because high school golf in Nevada, where I'm from, it's only spring. But with Wyoming and the uniqueness of fall and spring golf, yeah, these tournaments, they're good build-up for the fall season, but also, you got to put an asterisk by it in that, I'm not going to see this person in my group in the fall, which means I got to train harder, I got to work harder, I have to change my play style and change the seriousness where I could win in my group and possibly be the main scorer on my team. So this spring golf season is definitely going to be a huge preparation step for Evanston.
And that's really all it is preparation, because I was incorrect in thinking that there was a conference championship for the spring at 3A. There is not. At 4A there currently is, but there's talks, I guess, about not being a thing either. Coach Carroll talks a little bit about that in this interview we're about to play. Before we play it, though, Riker Lind of Evanston, he takes second, shooting a 77.
Wow.
So, and he was the highest placing, obviously second. Parker Paxton, a future graduating senior, is the man who won it. So that tells you that Riker Lind, I think he's going to be one of the top dogs in the state. It's going to be exciting to watch this fall.
Oh, absolutely. If you finish second behind Parker Paxton, who we also mentioned, he is a University of Colorado Boulder commit. He's going to Deion Sanders School. It's huge to finish second behind a name like that, and he's going to definitely be one of the top 3A golfers next year.
Absolutely, as Evanston will actually move to 4A golf this coming fall, so we'll see how that works. But still, you like their chances.
Absolutely. Let's
go ahead and play that interview with Coach Jerry Carroll of Evanston Red Devil Golf. Here with Evanston Red Devils Golf's head coach, Jerry Carroll. Coach Carroll, you guys just got back from your first tournament of the spring, first time on a course, I believe, since probably October. Can you talk to us about how that went for y'all?
You know what? Number one, it was great weather. Our Everton Golf Course is a great golf course, and so it was a good experience for all of our kids. We ended up taking third place for our boys and third place for our girls. Riker Lind took second overall behind Parker Paxton, who's the really good golfer from Riverton. And then Cade Brady shot an 82, followed by Jackson Hall with an 87. And so those were exciting because it's like we always look at that 80 mark as kind of the measuring stick for boys, and those boys are right there or below it. And so I was real pleased with those three coming out of winter. And then for our girls to take third as well, Madison Brown took shot at 100. Marley Torres shot at 104, and Emmy Fessler shot at 124. And those first two girls to be right there at 100, and hopefully we'll be down below 90 by the end of the season. And for Emmy Fessler, that was her first tournament, so it's exciting that we think she can help us in the coming fall.
Coach, when you look at what's coming up next, it's the beginning of the spring season. It will culminate with a conference championship event happening later on at the end of the spring season. But when you look at considering the fact that you guys have not been on your home course since I mentioned October, and you're going to get your first chance to really kind of get out there and play the home course and continue to build those golf skills, how excited are you as a coach with these early results?
You know what? I'm very excited. But Elon, we're not going to have a conference championship. We're going to be moving into the 4A next year, and we're in 3A right now, and 3A doesn't have that conference championship in the spring. So right now we are just preparing for next fall. And when I look at the young kids that we have and the abilities that they're showing with Riker, Cade, Jackson, what we're looking at is we got to get a couple more young kids like Parker Green, Brady, and those guys to move into that 4 or 5 spot. We really have an opening there, and we're hoping with the next 4 weeks or 5 weeks that we can get those kids to shooting in the 80s before summer starts. And the same thing with the girls. We're hoping to start them in the summer shooting in the 90s. But I'm excited. Marley T, Madison B, they're doing a great job, and they're getting to be really fine golfers, both boys and girls teams. So as when you ask me how excited I am, I'm excited for the future.
My apologies for that error there. I was under the impression that both 3A and 4A played a conference championship in the spring. But this kind of simplifies the goal, the objective for you guys, not having to worry about a conference championship in the spring. And as you mentioned, just kind of zero in on that fall and the culminating events that truly matter.
It makes a great difference. You know what? It's really the conference championship in the spring is really an unfair thing. You've got Star Valley, Evanston, Jackson, whose course isn't going to open. Ours doesn't open till the 19th. You've got Jackson, who won't open till the middle of May. And it's like, how are we supposed to compete for the spring when we don't even have a course to play on? And so it really kind of makes us settle down. It's like, no, we can get a good enough practice. We can get these kids ready, but it wouldn't be fair because the Sheridans and the Rivertons have been opened for almost a month now, and they've had practice every day on a course and had greens to hit onto. And we never feel like we're picked on or anything, but we do live at 7,000 feet, and we do start a little later in the spring.
Coach, you guys will now go to Rock Springs for your second tournament of the spring season. Talk to me real quick about what you guys are expecting there. And with that promotion to 4A kind of coming, that's coming, are you guys going to get to see more 4A teams at this tournament to kind of use that as a measuring stick for the upcoming season?
You know what we find in the spring? Everybody stays pretty close to home. So we'll see Rock Springs and Green River and Jackson and Star Valley and us. So there'll be 5 4A teams there. And actually Riverton will be there too. So 6 4A teams. So we'll see about half the 4A teams. But the ones we don't see are the Sheridan, the Cheyennes, the Laramies. They just, and Caspers, they don't generally come down to the southwest corner. But it's just going to be a good experience for our young kids to get to compete. It's just such a difference to compete rather than just play golf and just practice golf. So we'll get some good experience out of it, and I look for us to compete well.
That is Coach Jerry Carroll, head coach for Evanston Red Devil Golf. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck and safe travels on Thursday to Rock Springs. We'll be pulling for you. Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, sir, just thank you, and go Red Devils.
Big thank you to Coach Jerry Carroll for joining us today on Home Field Advantage. And you heard girls finish 5th, boys finish 3rd, and some exciting start to the golf season.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I love how Coach is planning for next season already and mentioning a couple of the kids' names on the roster and saying, hey, we're also going to get some new blood in the team as well. And just finishing third and not having a course here in town opened up yet. That is just so huge, and it looks like the future of Evanston Red Devil Golf is bright, and looks like they will be able to compete with the likes of Rock Springs, Green River, Riverton, and of course the Laramie, Cheyenne, Casper on the other side of the 4A.
Yeah, the 4A East, which is just, it seems like a whole nother state sometimes. Just with the sheer size of some of those schools, but. Right now, they're doing a great job, and you got to take your hat off to them. They're doing a great job competing at this level, and I'm excited to see what Riker Lynn does in that individual race.
Oh,
I mean, if you can go and keep up with Parker Paxton, you've got a very, very good shot to make some noise in October at the 4A City Championship.
And also shooting 5 over in your first tournament of the year, and we don't know really what these golf players have been training. We don't know if they've gone down to a different course. We don't know if they're training indoors on mats and nets. Really, so amazing that he can shoot a 5 over in his first tournament back, because about 90% of golfers out there struggle even to break 80.
Yeah,
through their life of playing golf.
Yeah,
so shooting a 77,
pretty good.
This record's really good at golf. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's something I think we all knew.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go and take a break. When we come back, we will talk with Morgan Anderson of Lyman Track and Field, and let you know what the Eagles are up to. You're tuned in to Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital and Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
Out here, we've always worked remote. Out here, stress usually refers to the pull on a rope. Where a stroll in the city is also a stroll in the great outdoors. Where work is a way of life, and life is good. Out here, the backyards are big, and the deals, they're even bigger. This is southwestern Wyoming, and it's where you can get the biggest deals on a vehicle you want, with plenty of hometown hospitality. Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
At Reese Auto Service in Lyman, you will find highly skilled mechanics who will get the job done right the first time. They work on anything from light line jobs of tire alignments, suspension work, and oil changes to heavy line jobs of engine replacement, differentials, and all powertrain components. Make sure all your recreational vehicles are working at top speed by getting them checked at Reese Auto Service in Lyman so your time having fun doesn't end early. Reese Auto Service, 541 State Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back live inside Homefield Advantage, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Also, shout out to some of our sponsors, First Bank of Wyoming, Union, Station on Main, Stacy's Auto Repair, and also T7 Propane. And Elin will now hear from Morgan Anderson, who's part of Lyman Track and Field, as right now the track and field season is going underway. We'll go to that interview right now. Here with Lyman Track and Field runner Morgan Anderson. Morgan, hopping straight into the interview. First question, what event do you do in track?
I think my main event would be the 100 hurdles. That's kind of my jam.
What do you like most about being on the track and field team?
It's a fun and relaxed environment, and I am somewhat successful in track, and so it's just fun and exciting.
What has been your best time you've ran in the hurdle event?
Oh, probably like a 16.8 something. It's been a while.
Right on. Switching to some get-to-know-you questions. If there is one vacation spot in the world you'd like to visit, what would that spot be?
I think somewhere in Greece, like on the islands, because it's just really nice there and the food is good.
Right on. Next question, Morgan. Of course, you are a senior. What is the next thing for you after you graduate high school?
I am going to go to college somewhere, and I'll work on getting an undergrad in kinesiology so I can do athletic training.
Right on. That's awesome. Last question, Morgan. What is your favorite part of just being a senior in high school?
I don't know. It's just like there's lots of exciting things that are happening. Sometimes it's sad, like when sports and things are over, but it's also just really fun, and I just love all of it.
Right on. Thank you for your time, Morgan.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Morgan Anderson, who does the hurdles for Lyman Track and Field. And last week, Lyman was at a couple of events on Wednesday. They're at the North Summit Braves 2024 invite in Coville, Utah. And Lyman was second in the girls division, third in the boys. Xander Lyman won the boys long jump. Peyton Anderson won the girls discus. And then Max Gregory won the boys discus. So Lyman Track and Field off to a good start. And then later that week, they were at the Puncher Invite 2024. And both the boys and the girls finished in the top 5 overall.
That's a great result for them. I mean, we've seen Lyman kind of have this strong track presence for a while, but to see them doing especially really well in the 3A, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then looking at this week's schedule, if I can pull it up here. Here we go. So on Wednesday, Lyman and Mountain View will be at the Dave Draney Memorial Memorial Invite at Star Valley in Afton. And that is the events this week for the Bridger Valley in track. But of course, both these schools ready to rumble for the track season and improving as every week goes by.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what it's all about with sports like track. We're getting better and better every week. If you can qualify early for state, then that's great. Then you can just work on continuing to kind of better that time. But just getting better and better every week, I think that you kind of take that as a win in this sport.
Also, props to Morgan. I cannot do hurdles. I can't jump and run that high at the exact same time, and I can't run as fast as I did in high school when I was doing all the sports and all that. But we'll take another break here on Home Field Advantage presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital.
Hey there, I'm Jake Major, your local Medicare and insurance benefits advisor for the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. With over 25 years of experience protecting families in rural America, we understand the importance of having an affordable insurance coverage. Whether you're searching for extra coverage or looking to understand and switch your Medicare options, I can help you find a range of top-rated insurance companies and tailor-made packages based on your needs. Call me, Jake Major, today at 307-209-4685, and let's discuss your insurance options. We're the Bullock Agency of Wyoming, when benefits matter.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Founded in 1938 with the hopes and dreams of serving the Bridger Valley, Benedict's Trading Company was started. Now 85 years and 3 generations later, Benedict's Market is still serving the Bridger Valley by offering the highest quality meats and fresh produce to having fresh baked items and hot deli options. Benedict's Market is your one stop for all of your grocery needs. Benedict's Market offers the best services in a modern setting to make your shopping both quick and easy. Visit them today at 950 North Highway 414, Mountain View, Wyoming.
Life is better in the country. KNYN, Fort Bridger, Evanston, Woodruff, 99.1, the country you want to be in.
And we welcome you back to Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Also need to give a big thank you to Les Schwab Plains Tires for sponsoring our broadcast studio today, as well as Union. Anyone else? Also Heritage Chevrolet or Heritage Auto of Evanston as well. Without them and all the other sponsors we've mentioned throughout the day, these broadcasts are not possible.
Oh, definitely. Big thank you and a big hug out to our sponsors, because us just covering these teams and covering these events, it would not be possible without any of them.
Absolutely. Excuse me. So we would not be able to call this Home Field Advantage without hearing from our own Aaron Poling. Aaron's not here today, but he did send us an interview that he got with the Rich track and field head coach, Mr. Glenn Smith. Here's that interview right now.
Here with head coach of the Rich Rebels varsity track team, that's Coach Glenn Smith. And Coach, over the weekend, it was a beautiful weekend. How are you guys able to do?
Good. We did really well. So Violet set a state record in long jump, 17 feet 8 inches, and so that was exciting. We had a lot of PRs that also kids were able to do well in each of their events, so it was a lot of fun.
So is that a 1A state record, or is that all-around state record for Utah?
So that's a 1A state record. Yeah, just a 1A state record.
I mean, not just a state. Yeah, any state record you can get. Violet seems to be hoarding them now. But an athlete like that, what does it take as a coach? I mean, obviously she's locked in at all times, but as a coach, what a joy to coach an athlete that's able to go out and break a bunch of records.
Yeah, it's pretty probably once in a lifetime chance to do that and see those things, those records being broken. Like, for instance, the long jump record, I think, was 10 years old. The hurdle record, the 100 hurdle record, was like 40 years old that she broke. So that's been exciting to see her set some state records.
So as we kind of enter the middle part of your guys' season, what's the goal for the athletes? You guys have been able to get outside a couple of times now. Knock on wood, you're able to get outside the rest of the year. But what do you want to start seeing from your athletes as they progress towards the state tournament?
The big thing is we want to start seeing the times come down, and then we get closer to the state tournament, get their legs under them so they're fresh for region and state when we get to that point in BYU. So big thing now is just seeing the PRs coming and getting them in better shape, getting their legs still under them.
What's the biggest thing that these athletes can do on a week-to-week basis just to get better?
I think the biggest thing is just listening to their coaches and working hard, doing the little things that help them to become better, like doing their workouts and doing them properly, making sure they take the amount of rest needed between each set, and then just working on their starts and working on the little things to become better.
You know, that's a coach's answer. I've never interviewed a parent that says that they should listen to their coaches more often. No, I'm just kidding. One final question for you. What do you want to see from them this week heading into the weekend for this week's meet?
The biggest thing for this weekend's meet is I just want to see them improve. So if we can see some improvement from each of them, that's what I'm looking for. And also we want to get some kids qualified for state so they don't have to worry about doing that at region.
Big thank you to Aaron Poling for getting that interview with Glenn Smith. And, of course, a big thank you to Glenn Smith, the Rich track and field coach, for joining us today. But Anthony?
Yes?
Another state record for Violet Taylor. As mentioned, that one stood for 10 years. The 100 hurdles record she broke stood for 40 years. Yeah. 2024 is an Olympic year. Of course, the Paris Olympics are in this summer. And there's every time you go into it, there's those athletes to watch.
I feel like the Utah 1A state track meet, there's very high expectations for Violet Taylor to walk out of there with multiple gold medals. We'll have to talk with Aaron about that next week, but
I think
that's nuts.
This is a huge teaser that she broke a 10-year-old record this past week.
Yeah.
And then
the 40-year-old record earlier.
40-year-old record earlier, and she's the fastest girl in the 1A for track. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think she's definitely going to be a shoo-in for a lot of gold medals. But these are events that she just rocks. You know, the hurdles, you got to run fast and jump fast. Long jump, you had to get a good start from the get-go. And then also how they work their footwork at the end and then try to plant their feet into
it's
the pit.
It's a completely different thing.
Yes. Like, you know,
at least to an observer, it looks like a completely different thing. Maybe there's a lot more crossover than what you and I know. Neither you and I participated in track and field growing up, but I mean, how can you not look at Violet Taylor and be like, all right, this is going to be someone that not only are we going to hear have a huge spring this year, probably I would be very, very surprised if she doesn't. I mean, of course, there's that possibility that she chooses not to, but if she does, I would be very surprised if she doesn't run at the next level and make some noise there. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in the next few months for Miss Taylor. And that is going to do it for today's edition of Home Field Advantage, presented by Jake Major at the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Invite you to join us tomorrow for the My Local Radio student section at 10:30 on KQ and on mylocalradio.com on demand as well there, and at 4 o'clock on KADQ. Sorry, I think I said 10:30 on KQ. 10:30 on KNYN and mylocalradio.com, and on demand at mylocalradio.com. And, of course, the re-air on KQ at 4 o'clock. I'm Elon Olive.
Anthony Colasuno.
And we will see you guys next time.